Thursday morning, and it's time for Tech for Seniors Live, where technology gets its deserved deep dive. This isn't happening via Zoom, so we can't see who's joining the show. So please sign in to the chat box below as we gather around the screen, both far and wide, with curiosity as our ever-trusty guide. We'll navigate the digital seas, a knowledgeable crew, exploring all the tech tips, both old and new. No need for cameras, no need for dress. Just bring your questions and we'll address. From gadgets to apps and all the tech lore, we're here to help, to teach, and much more. So type away in the chat. Don't be shy. Our tech-savvy hosts are here to reply. It's Thursday morning. Let the tech talk flow at the Tech for Seniors Live, the best tech show.
The Pixel 9a or the Apple S, or no, we're going to call it the Apple 16e. There's a clear winner. There is, for sure. And we're going to talk about that and tell you what it is today. I'm Ron Brown. This is Tech for Senior Live. And we're here today for the next hour talking about the tech news of the week. And we have a distinguished group today, very learned group that is knowledgeable, and we've assembled across the countries for your enjoyment and to review all the tech news of the week. And we're going to talk about not only the new Pixel phones, but the new iPad Air tablets that have come out and their new keyboards. So lots of things to talk about today. And you're probably wondering who the heck this crazy group is. Well, we're Tech for Senior, and we're a group from the Monday show, which is on Monday. This is the Thursday show, which is on Thursday. Get that, eh? And Monday show is, of course, a Zoom meeting, and we have a lot of fun. In fact, we have so much fun that next Monday, we're going into our 6th season. So 6 years we've been doing this. So sometimes we might get it right eventually, Hewie. Eh? What do you think?
A little practice might help. Yeah.
We might get it right. Anyway, there seems to be lots of people that want to listen to what we say. So we like to talk, and anyway, on it goes. Anyway, we do appreciate you being here, and you want to get on with it and listen to the news, not us yak all morning. But I do want to introduce everybody today. Of course, we have Hewie Poplock from Bradenton, Florida, who has a new background. You look absolutely charming, Hewie. I really like your new background.
Yeah, the camera still gives me a like I'm either embarrassed or I've got a sunburn.
You got color. You got color, man. You got color. You got color.
It's the same background. I just put a cloth over it.
Ah, okay. And of course, Bob Gostischa from Los Lunas, New Mexico, who's obviously a pianist. He's got his grand piano at the back there. He not only has he got a great voice, he can also tinker on the keys.
If I tinker on the keys, you'll all be leaving shortly.
And of course, Ray Baxter from Pine, Arizona, which is I don't know. I always think of Pine. You're getting warm now. My friends are still in Mesa. They haven't flocked back yet to Canada, but it's getting pretty darn hot down there in Phoenix, eh?
I was down there last Saturday and it was 72. So perfect.
Well, that's not
spring.
bad.
Perfect. Well, it's perfect for the spring, not so much for March. But
wow.
Warmer.
Yeah, because usually by the time we left, usually the end of March, it was getting up into the 90s. It was getting pretty darn hot. But anyway, yes, indeed. So just to let everyone know as well that this is broadcast out on we broadcast this out through StreamYard, and it goes out to YouTube, Facebook, and we have a lot of debates whether it's going to Instagram or not, but we definitely are sending some signal to Instagram. Whoever's watching or can see it, I don't know, but we are sending it. So we broadcast out to 3 people. So we don't know who's listening, but we can't see you. So if you would be so kind as to put a comment in the chat as to hey, what's going on? Are you new here? What's the weather? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Put a chat in it. At least then we know who we're talking to rather than just talking to ourselves. Also, if you want to follow us along, let me just get this up here. I think this is the one. Yeah. So if you want to follow the articles along today, we're going to look at, they're all on our Facebook page. And if you can pop over to Facebook, just put in Tech for Senior and you'll find our page. We do post articles every day on it. So if you are of a computer club or you want to find the latest in tech articles, we usually pick them out and usually get the ones that are interesting and post them to our site. And you can certainly do that at the Tech for Senior site and follow us along if you want. Hewie, have we got anybody listening to us today?
I think we do.
Ed Weiss, sunny, 48 degrees in central New Jersey. Welcome, Ed. Thanks for coming. Steve Powell, Kirkland, Washington, 42 degrees and overcast. Steve, did you get was it really warm there yesterday? I mean, you usually get the same weather we do. Man, it was hot and gorgeous. We had some frost last night, but it's going to be another drop down dead beautiful day today. So I would think you'd probably be getting pretty warm through the day. Monsignor Mike. Yeah, thank you. You were on last week.
He was on last week. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. It's nice to see you again. This is great. Sunny and 38 degrees in St. Louis. Greetings. That's a little chilly. But anyway, that's good. Mike Lehman in Moncton, New Brunswick, where it is 10 degrees or 50 degrees Fahrenheit and rain on the way. Welcome, Mike. Good morning, y'all. Dick Vogel. Welcome, Dick. Please check in. Thumbs up icon. Edie Taylor Richards. A light dusting of snow in what? In Prescott? You're kidding.
See, they have the same weather as I do in Pine, pretty much.
You got a little dusting of snow, did you? Ooh. Yep. Huh. Liz Milford from Ohio. Yep. Welcome, Liz. Mike Ungerman in Florida today. Of course, it's always sunny there, and he's happy because he's getting his EV car charged for free. Free is always good when you're a senior. Jim Talman, 64 degrees and sunny in Riverview, Florida.
And that's it. We're caught up.
Oh, and can you bring up Jim, Mike Lehman's note again?
Hang on. Let me go to him right here.
Let's bring up Mike. Want to introduce Mike to everybody. Mike, of course, is going to be joining the Tech for Senior group, and he's going to be participating in the on our Thursday show. So Mike will be a familiar face, and we want to welcome Mike and give to the group, and it should be a lot of fun. And you'll soon see Mike sitting up here with us as well, and saying and commenting. So welcome, Mike, and hopefully should be lots of fun. We look forward to it, and hopefully enjoy the show today. All right. Let's see. Let's get on. I guess we should look at some new stuff. I guess we should get on with this.
That's a good idea.
Probably a good idea to get on with the show, right? Okay. All right. Let's bring up, let's see where we got here. All right. So the first one I want to talk about is an article today. And I'm going to go through the article, and then we can talk about it as we go along. Now, I do appreciate that if you have an Apple, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, then you're obviously going to get an Apple phone. You're going to get an iPhone. If you're in the Android ecosystem, you're going to get a Pixel phone. But there are people who probably haven't made a decision and are out there looking for a phone, and they might consider, of course, we talked about last week, the iPhone 16e. The SEs are all gone, and the iPhone. But even though they did, even though they put a lot of new hardware in, and I think it's a great phone, but it is $300 more, and it's not the budget phone that the 16e or the SE was. So it's changed a bit. But the Pixel 9a is coming out, and of course, all the stuff's leaked. And this is a good article, is a comparison on the 9a versus the 16e, and I thought it was a good point just to run through this. So I'm going to just go through it fairly quickly. And first of all, the first article is about the image, the brighter display. Based on extensive, Google's phone is tipped to feature a 6.3-inch OLED display compared to the 6.1-inch on the 16e. So right off the bat, the Pixel should have size advantage over Apple's phone. But it's also leaked in that it's going to have 2700. Now, nits are, of course, how bright a phone is, and they're going to the Pixel 9a is going to have 2700 nits of screen brightness compared to the 16e's max brightness of 1200 nits. Now, I will tell you, 1200 nits is, when we're looking at phones, is not very bright. It is, but we look at, it's not very bright. So the screen is definitely different. So right off the bat, the screen's different between the two.
One thing to consider too, though, is that the brighter the screen, the more battery it needs. So
that's true. But it also is really hard when you're outside, and if you don't have a bright screen, that's a difficult one. So, and while the 16e makes to do with a single 48 megapixel camera, the 9a will reportedly feature a 40 megapixel main camera and a 13 ultra wide sensor with 120-degree field of view. That's not necessarily a shock, as the current Pixel 8a has a 2-camera setup as well. Yes, the iPhone 16e can approximate a 2 times telephoto zoom with its wide camera, but you'll simply have to back up if you want to get a bigger picture. So 1 versus 2 cameras, interesting. Refresh rate, how long can Apple really claim that 120 hertz display is a pro feature? I'd argue that we're long past that point. The 9a is rumored to feature a 120 hertz refresh rate, so it'll be faster. Now, we're not sure which AI features are coming to the Pixel 9a, but assuming it features the same Tensor G4 chip as the Pixel 9 lineup, it's reasonable to assume that most, if not all, the AI goodies on these phones are coming along for the ride. So I would expect Gemini Live to be available, including live voice chat, which are all there. Meanwhile, the most recent reporting from Mark Gurman at Bloomberg says the Apple may not have a fully functioning Siri chat bot till 2007.
27.
27.
Yeah, 27. So,
27.
well, okay. So, all right. Interesting.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to add something at the end. So go ahead. I didn't.
Just to be clear, a bigger battery inside a phone does not guarantee it will have the best phone battery life, but Google does seem to have an advantage over the 16E in terms of battery capacity. The leak points to a Pixel 9a of having a 5,100 milliamp battery, which is pretty big for a budget phone. By comparison, the iPhone 16e only has a 3,961 milliamp battery. So much bigger battery. And there's nothing wrong with the iPhone 16e, but it kind of feels like a refresh of the iPhone 14 instead of something truly new. Meanwhile, the 9a looks like to be getting a fresh new design that shrinks down the camera bar to a similar pill-shaped cutout on the left side of the device. In fact, the leaked information make it looks there's barely a bump at all. So now the other thing, even better. It looks like the Pixel 9a is going to come in 4 different colors as well. Whoopie ding. And last of not, here's the kicker. The 9a price is expected to remain at $499. So you would be getting all of the above advantages for $100 less than the $599 of the iPhone 16e. Now, it depends if you're in the Google or Apple ecosystem makes a big difference. So, but for the person who may not, and you're just going out to purchase one, you may want to look at that. So the 9A is going to be a very interesting phone, and it should be out in the next few weeks.
And for those of us in the Samsung ecosystem,
yes,
there is an article we're going to be covering coming up. But they now have the flip phone like Ray has, but it's the current flip phone, and it's with a trade-in you can get it down to $399. So something to think about as well.
There's also, I think, Hewie, we've got an article coming up. I think Samsung also brought out their budget phones as well, which are the A51 or something. I can't remember the number, but I think the article's coming up about it.
Okay.
All right. Now the next one is ample.
Can I give a comment on that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, Ray. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that was a good article you had us focus on. The title of it, the battle for the best budget phone is heating up, is the lead-in sentence. And then as you've done such a nice job comparing those two phones. But if this is truly a battle for the best budget phone, I would have liked to have seen the Motorola Edge 50 Neo added to the mix. Just by comparing those two phones only, it's not really giving you a glimpse of what's out there in the market. Absolutely,
Ray, you're 100% right. In fact, I'm looking at a new phone for Gail, and I'm looking at the Motorola. I mean, Costco's got, of course, the Motorola. They've got the two versions. One that has the stylus in it that actually clips in, and the other one, and they're all both 5G, and they are really great phones, and they are half of what the prices of those phones are. Yep. So you're absolutely correct. And we've reviewed the Motorola before, but I probably am going to. I'm sort of waiting. The one Costco has is last year's model, and there's another model coming out. I'm sort of dragging my feet and waiting for them to get it in, and before I make the big decision. But it is you get it. We're talking about a super phone for a couple of $100. It's a 5G, like really good phone. So
yes, several of my neighbors have Motorola's.
Yeah,
my daughter has a Motorola.
Before I went to the flip phone, I had a Motorola. That's why I can speak from personal experience.
Yeah,
my daughter swears by her flip Motorola.
Yeah. Oh, she has a flip one, eh?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they made. Didn't know they made.
They've been in competition with Samsung's flips on that for a while. The reason I went with Samsung is it was a great deal I got from T-Mobile when I switched carriers. So that was just the main reason. Otherwise, I might have gotten a Motorola flip. But I'm very happy with the Samsung.
My biggest reason for sticking with Pixel is the fact that I get the latest updates quick. And that to me is always something that I want to know what's coming and how soon can I get it.
The other big problem with Motorola is when we buy a Pixel phone, we get just Pixel stuff. We get only, it's bare. We don't get any gobbledygook ads and all that stuff. The Motorola's are loaded with adware, and you have to take all that adware off. And that's, again, I guess that's how they make their money, because they're so cheap, right? They've got adware on there. So
you can pay me now or pay me later.
that's right. That's right. But you take it off. You just have to know how to do that. Okay. Apple launches their new iPad Air with the M3 actually and the M4 chip. So this is going to be most of you have seen the video I did on saying, because of course, as we come up to October this year, when Windows 10 is losing its support, then, a lot of people have to make decisions. And I did a video about Chromebook or iPad. And iPad, I still think, is a really, if you're in the Apple ecosphere, is a great machine. And this, of course, has the new this is talking about the M3, but they also have one out for the M4. Apple introduced a new 11 and 13-inch iPad Air models, which with the M3 chip. There's also an M4. The new iPad Air can be pre-ordered starting Tuesday. The device starts at $599 for the 11-inch model and $799 for the 13-inch, and again comes with a whole bunch of options there. And the new iPad Air supports Apple Intelligence. It doesn't feature Apple's newest chip, the M4, but this article is written before they announced the M4 coming out as well. However, Apple says that the iPad Air with the M3 is nearly twice as fast compared to the iPad Air with the M1. So if you are out and you are looking for an iPad, be aware that there are some new versions out there.
Yeah, I have the iPad 9th generation. The 10th generation is the latest one, and the iPad Air is the top of the line on the tablets. And I love mine, but the one thing that I wanted, and I had to pay extra for it, is I wanted LTE, or, well, actually they call it now cellular access, because it's even though mine's not 5G, the generation 10 does have 5G. The one I have, the 9th generation, is only a regular LTE.
So this is the new Magic Keyboard. People often say to me, well, it's a tablet. I don't want a tablet. Well, you just plug your keyboard in. This is the new Magic Keyboard. So that's how it fits on the keyboard for you. So interesting. I really do. I guess my iPad, we use it for communicating with the kids, and that's about all I use my iPad for, because I have a Chromebooks, right? I write a lot of articles about Chromebooks, but it's a great machine. I really like iPads. I think it's great for people and super simple. And I think you're born with an iPad gene in you, and a 3-year-old can pick it up and just use it, right? It's inherently in there. So anyway, all right. So listen. Pardon me?
I'd like to make a comment on the Apple.
Go right ahead, Ray. You can do
the
it.
article. The article actually states that all the performance comparisons are with older iPad models. So right away, what are we really doing? And not the iPad Air with the M2 chip that launched last year. Yeah. Another comment claims that the A16 chip makes the new iPod up to 6 times faster than the best-selling Android tablet, but they don't mention the name. Could that be because the best-selling Android tablet is the least expensive with reduced specs?
Yeah, could be.
I think the article was
statistics are meant to prove your point, whatever that point might be.
Very well said.
Yeah. Yep. And the reason I brought this up was just simply because it was a new feature that these just got released this week, and I wanted to let everybody know that these are released, and that's the reason for bringing that up. Okay, Hewie, before we go going with the articles, any new comments or any comments?
Just a couple.
Geek Wireless, greetings, Troy. Michigan, surprise light snow this morning. Oh, really? 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
And that's it.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah, we had them captivated.
Captivated. All right, so let's get you up here, Hewie. There you go. And
all right, first one on here, and Bob, there's two of them from you, and that so this is and they repeated. So this is yours, Bob.
Yeah, they're not repeated. They are different videos.
Quick
look. We start off with a quick look at today's AI buzz. And that's looking at the newest stuff available in AI. The second one is Gemini live image recognition and analysis, where I use my phone, bring up Gemini, and start talking to it. But in this case, I had my camera take a picture of something old that I had laying around and ask it to analyze that picture. Amazing what it comes up with.
There's some neat stuff that's being released on that's using AI. That's really neat.
And the next one simply shows off the new feature where you can get the Gemini, not by having to go to the app and launching it, but by simply, if you have a Pixel phone, doing a long press on your power button.
And that's on the Pixel. I know it's not on the Samsung, and it probably isn't on others as well. So
right.
Okay, and next is you, Ron. And before we get to that, Ron, I would like to tell you that I just went on Instagram, and next to the icon it says live. I clicked on it, and there we were. So
really,
we are on Instagram.
There you go. So if you're on Instagram, hello.
yeah. Look for Tech for Senior info.
Okay, excellent. Well, there you go. Google confirms it's on track to release Android 16 in June. And why is that important? Is I suspect that will also be the time in which they release the Pixel 10 phone. I think the two will come out together, and I think Pixel 10 will have Android 16. So it is coming
like
out.
Like we were talking earlier before we went live. I have a Samsung, and a Samsung's still on 14. And the article that I was looking at earlier this week said that Samsung will release the 15 in May. So and then in June, Android comes out with 16, but it'll be many months before Samsung gets caught up with that one.
And this is very interesting, particularly for people who have older Pixel phones. And Google is updating the Linux kernel version in older Pixel devices with the March 25 security update. The Pixel 6, 7, and Pixel 8 series are now getting an updated 6.1 version for their phones, and so it's good. It's good news, and that will just make them more functional and faster. So there's also an article coming up about the March update. So just to let everyone know, Bob and I updated our Pixels yesterday, and so we have the March update in the phone. So important that you get that done.
Okay, ready? This is yours.
Okay, so last week we covered the announcement of the new Alexa Plus. And in case we didn't answer all of your questions about this new device, here's an article that'll help. It's an interview with Daniel Rausch, and he's Amazon's VP of Alexa and Echo. And he answers questions rather like, how much of Alexa Plus is Claude, since Anthropic, Claude's developer, is the main partner in Amazon Plus. You'll have to read this article for the answer.
Okay, and one thing that I'm seeing a lot of articles and people talking about Miss A and the Miss A Plus that's going to be coming out. And I wish they'd rename how you access it, because mine keeps going off every time I have an article.
I'm sorry, I did
It's
that.
coming. Well, I got my headset on, so it's not
Oh.
doing it now. But and I call my other one Miss E. So I've got both terms that it'll hear if I've got it on the screen, and somebody's talking about it in one of the videos I'm looking at. So
I had a message on my Miss A device this morning to have it ask it to announce when the Amazon, the Miss A Plus is available. And when I asked the question, which is what I saw on the screen, I got a reply from the other Miss A device. I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, I got an email and they said, do you want us to send you an email when we update, or when it's available? So, okay, Ray, this is yours.
Okay, now is this perhaps a better alternative to Starlink? So the article points out there's 500,000 square miles in the U.S. where there's no cellular signals at all. And we know about the recent collaboration between T-Mobile and Starlink in helping correct that. But what about the other carriers like AT&T and Verizon? So there's a French-based company called Constellation Technologies and Operations. And it's a startup that plans to provide network operators with shared access to their space-based telecommunication services. These satellites will orbit close to Earth, means faster internet speeds and lower latency. Now, they're still several years away, as the first satellites won't be launched until next year, and the rest later. But here's going to be an alternative to Starlink.
And Jeff Bezos has his alternative to Starlink as well, that I think he's got one already in place, and he's going to be sending up more. So we may have a few choices. And this is Ron's.
This is excuse me. This is an interesting one. We talked about this last week. This came up again, and this is Google's Safety Core app security. Now, what this is this is a again, it may have been installed on March's update. Bob had it last month on his machine, but what this is it's a piece of software that's installed in the update, and it has to do with securing your messages. It's a Google message feature, and the concept behind this is that it's going to scan your messages and look for pornography or bad things that are coming in or going out that might be offensive and so on. So it's a spam sort of thing that they've added. The controversy surrounding this is that it scans all your files on your phone. In other words, it scans them all. What it does with them, nobody's sure, but are they taking those and uploading them? Like, there's a lot of concern about this, and some people are deleting this. So I've been watching for this, and I just updated yesterday my Pixel 8 Pro, and I did not have this on it. And the Pixel 8 Pro doesn't have this app. It's incorporated in a different type of service that Google has put on the Pixel 8 Pro. So Bob had it, you may or may not have this on your phone, but I guess it is a security feature that they have added to do with, as I said, texting and messages and spam and all that sort of thing. And that's the concept behind it. I think the intentions are probably good, but in order for it to work, it has to scan all your photos. So that's sort of where we are. So if you want,
I personally don't understand what the controversy is. If you want to make sure you don't get or send out porn, why would you object to having your pictures scanned to make sure that there's no porn there, incoming or outgoing? So,
but I think, Bob, the idea is that do all the pictures get uploaded to a master database to be held so that somehow they can compare the correct ones with the incorrect ones? are your personal pictures getting added to a database that you have no control of? And I think that's the concern people have. That's the whole issue. So anyway, it's going to come up again and again.
Okay, Ray, this is you.
Okay, so Spotify is, which the article points out, they've been a huge success story with streaming music. They coming out with an AI feature. They're using machine learning algorithms that match listeners with tunes, and they're coming out now with this AI-powered music tool. They don't have a date yet for it. So the rumor is this service will have tools to change tempos, reimagine songs in different genres or with different instruments, replace vocals with entirely different ones at your fingertips. Now, I imagine this premium service could be of interest to the younger generation, but I'm going to say that for most seniors, we're content to listen to the music we love just the way it was made.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't, and I'm in that category of called seniors. So,
Oh, really?
I wouldn't.
Yes. I never would have guessed that.
And I wouldn't be interested in taking some of my favorite songs and changing them around just to make them different.
Exactly. And they're going to charge a premium fee for this. So it'll be interesting to see if it succeeds or not.
And
all right.
This is you.
And so if you're not familiar with Drake, he's a Canadian singer-rapper whose music career started almost 20 years ago. And now he's the first artist to surpass 110 billion, with a B, streams on Spotify. Drake is now one of 3 artists alongside Taylor Swift and Jay-Z that have reached 14 chart-topping albums. However, they are all 5 albums behind the Beatles, who had 19. Now, what bothered me a lot was this article failed to mention that the Beatles accomplished those 19 chart-topping albums in only 8 years, when they were active from 1962 to 1970.
So, Ray, the other thing the article forgot, do you know what Drake is trying hard to do and he still hasn't done it? There's one accomplishment that he has not made yet, and he's tried so hard to do, and he hasn't made it yet. You don't know what the accomplishment is?
I'm going to guess he received some kind of Canadian award.
No, it's trying to make Ray's playlist. He has not. He's got all the accomplishments in the world, but Ray has the music. He does their music outro, and he has a playlist, and he's got all his music on this playlist. He's never made your playlist once, and he's very.
That's Ron. That's because you haven't recommended him to me.
Why? I've never heard anything from him.
Wait a minute, he's Canadian. What do you mean you never heard of him?
I know.
He's also alive.
Yes.
He hasn't made your playlist, Ray. Sorry.
Ron?
Okay, so, this was cool. So this is hilarious. Do you guys see this article? So this is an app that for Monopoly that figures out for kids if I sell Park Avenue to Bob and Bob has to pay me $4,000 and he gives me a $5,000 bill, how much money do I have to give him back? Well, kids can't figure that out. Like, they have no idea how to do math. So this is an app that figures out the math when you're buying and selling on Monopoly. And parents are going ape over this. They're so mad because it's the only time kids learn how to do math. And this is doing it for you because they can't figure out how to add or subtract. So I thought, oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, and there are many versions of Monopoly, the board game, that are out there that are localized. I think there's one for Anna Marie Island. There's one for Bradenton. There's one for Orlando, I believe. And so there's different versions of Monopoly floating around there as well. But
right.
they're all, the old board ones that you.
But one of the greatest things about Monopoly is kids had to, maybe do a little mind adding and subtracting, right? So anyway, interesting story. So this was interesting. Now listen up on this one. And it's too bad. I'm going to bring this up and when Bill James comes on, because as you well know, Bill James is with our Tech for Senior groups, and he just got back from France, and he was over there for a week, and he said, Ron, you're not going to believe it. Everybody uses tap and pay over there. They all have their digital wallets. And what have I been saying for the last 4 years? So listen, get with it, start using it. Everybody else in the world is using this. So digital wallets are where you need to be. I got a video coming out about it as well, but we need to get on with it. So I'm not going to say a lot. This is how to do it. But Bill James I'm going to record him. I'm going to interview him and play that over and over again. He says, Ron, you won't believe it. Everybody uses tap and pay over there. Yes, I do.
I use Bank of America for a couple of my MasterCard accounts, and I got a notice that they're now part of Paze, P-A-Z-E. And I had never heard of that, and I did a little research on it. And it's a temporary card number that you can use, but they also have a way you're supposed to be able to do it with the tap and pay, but I don't know how that's going to work. I've still got to do a lot of research on it. But if anyone that's listening to us, if you would make a comment that you're using Paze and how you like it, I'd be interested in that. Okay, Ron, this is you as well.
Yeah, this is an interesting article. I got it. This is hilarious. So listen, Pixel phones just got 10 major upgrades for free, including older models. Well, that's the update. But here, I don't want to go through them all, but one of the major updates, you listen up to this, you guys. This is crazy. Is loss of pulse detection. Have you heard of that? So this is a Pixel Watch 3 users are getting first of its kind life-saving feature in the form of loss of pulse detection. If your watch detects that you've lost your pulse, it can automatically place a call to emergency services. Now let's think about this for a minute. If your pulse stops, folks, you're dead, right? Dead. You are DEA dead. I'm a doctor. I can tell you this. You're dead. You have 3 minutes to get that heart going, which of course is maybe a bit of thumping on the chest to get it going. After 3 minutes, you don't want to be resuscitated because not so good. So now tell me how this is going to work. If it detects that you don't have a pulse, that's going to take a little while. Then they're going to send emergency responders out, which are going to take some time to get there. A lot more than 3 minutes. Is this really going to be helpful? But worse than that, what if you take your watch off? What if it can't you're sweaty, you're out in the garden, and it doesn't record your pulse? Are the emergency services people going to be inundated with all these loss of pulse notifications that they're going to be getting swamped to all the 911 calls? So I'm not so sure this is good. Well, lots more on this coming up, but I don't think this is going to work out so hot. So that was my thought.
Is it true that if a musician is wearing one of those watches and their pulse stops, it automatically sends Ray a notice that they get ready for next week?
That's a good, yeah, we got to get an app on that. Yeah, we got a good one. And we'll get them on the playlist.
We're gonna have these artists croaking just to get on Ray's.
Yeah, that's the only way you get on his list is you die, right? There you go.
Is Ron, this is you as well?
This is just a note. Samsung's updating the UI 7, and so just check and see if your updates. I know they're automatic, but you may just want to check your updates because they're updating the operating system.
Yeah, that's not till April.
Yeah, to keep an eye on
next month. Next month, yep.
Yeah.
This is you, Ron?
Yeah, we talked about that, so we can skip that.
Okay. And this is me. Say goodbye to lost ideas, brainstorming like a pro with AI. So if you're one that is driving down the road or you're walking or whatever, and these ideas pop into your head, you now can tell your phone just to jot down things, and then go back and use AI to then expand them.
How expensive is this?
I don't know. I think it's either a program that's built. It might be built in. And then this one is transform your to-do list with these simple tips. And this is using AI and to-do list. I don't use a to-do list. Because I end up procrastinating and don't do them anyway.
And my wife has one she always gives me, so I want to make sure I don't make this too easy.
And if you use or are familiar with Notebook LM, this is 5 ways to use Notebook LM for work, study, and more in 2025. So it just gives you some ideas of how to use Notebook LM. So if you've heard about it, but you just didn't know what to do with it, this might give you some starting points to play with it and learn what it does.
Fabulous little.
Yeah,
it's not a program; it's AI, and the way it's set up, really interesting.
Right. And I would encourage you, if you're listening and you haven't actually, and you say, well, I don't know anything about Notebook LM, read the article and explore it. We talked about this last week, and one of the things that the guy did was he took his 1,200-page Toyota instruction manual and he uploaded it into Notebook LM. And now he can find, if he can't figure out something, Notebook LM will tell him what to do. It read the whole manual and you figure it out. So you can just say, hey, how do you make the power windows go up and down? And it'll tell him. So it is an incredible piece of software that is of course now becoming more popular. But if you haven't explored it, read this article. It's great.
Actually, I did that with Gemini on my phone because I didn't know how to reset the clock, and I just told it what the model of the car was and told it what I wanted, and I popped all the steps and I just followed them, and my clock is now right.
That's right.
This is Google's adding more AI overviews and a new AI mode to their search. Google's main moneymaker is their search engine. And what's happening is a lot of people are going to using AI, using Claude and Perplexity and Gemini and Copilot and so on. And so they're not using Google. So Google's concerned that their revenue is through Google search. So they're trying to do some different things, and so they're adding more AI overviews in an AI mode in their search. So they're making changes to the way you search using Google.
On my computer that's on the latest Insider build, I apparently have Copilot Pro, but on the rest of the computers that are not Insiders, I don't have the Pro version. I have the unpaid version. I can't figure out how one computer has the Pro that I don't pay for and the other one doesn't.
That's the one computer that shouldn't even. Is that the same computer that shouldn't even be running Windows 11?
That's the same computer that should not be using Windows 11.
There's the answer. It's very.
I'm not complaining because I can use the Pro features on a computer that shouldn't even have it on it.
It sounds like a Twilight Zone program to me.
Yes, it's fine.
Don't do anything to change that.
And Microsoft's new Copilot app for Windows. In other words, usually when you click on the icon, it goes out to the web. Well, they also now have an app for Windows, and it's apparently got it's a different UI. I haven't played with that yet. I do have I got a button for Copilot 365, but that doesn't go anywhere yet either. So,
I think you have to pay for it. I'm paying extra each month to have the Copilot as part of the Office 365. So anytime I open up Word or Excel or PowerPoint, AI is there giving me prompts.
If you've got Copilot on your Windows 11 computer, all you need is to hit the Alt key and the space bar, and it'll bring up Copilot.
Yep.
Right, but this one is made specifically to work with, say, Word, where it's going to give you the ability to reword it. Or here's an example where Carol has used it a couple of times. She writes grants all the time, and many times the prompt will come back and say, reduce it from 1,500 characters to 1,000 characters. Rather than rewriting the whole thing herself, she has the base done. She lets AI do it, and bingo, she's done in a minute, and is able to submit the grant.
Okay, and Amazon, of course, we've been talking about this, is the Miss A, and they're also going to have a new app for the Miss A Plus.
Huey, we should probably look at some of those comments before we're moving into our last 15 minutes. Maybe we should.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we're having fun. I know we're having fun and having a roll here, but we should probably deal with any comments that we.
I just want to see where we left off here. Right here, I think.
Geek Wireless, is there an optimum level of nits? No, brightness. No, and on a laptop, probably a 300 nit is really a bright laptop. You'll see a lot of with 200 nits on laptops, but when you go outside, the phones are a lot brighter because they're outside and they're in their brightness. So you really have to look at the size of the screen and look at. I think I've seen some phones. I'm not even sure about the new Pixel 9s if they're not up to 2,000 nits of brightness. Like these screens get really, really bright on phones. So you have to have a look at it and compare it. But if you are looking at a cell phone and you're over at Best Buy, I guess they wouldn't let you take it outside and have a look.
I'm just going to take this outside and see how bright it is.
I'll be back in a couple of days.
Yeah, we'll see.
You really want to have a look and see how bright it is.
And let's see.
I'm surprised that A is not mentioned in this. Well, it doesn't have it. That's the point. Steve Parker says optimum will vary with ambient light. Yeah, exactly. But people are using their phones outdoors, when they're in the sun, and that's why you want really bright.
Yeah, and if you're having trouble seeing it when you're outside, you really need to adjust your brightness level. Some people don't realize that they're having trouble seeing it, and they're putting their hand over it and so on. Or you just make it brighter.
But in your settings, there is a setting that allows the phone to automatically adjust the brightness based on whether you're inside or outside. And that works pretty well.
I noticed that on my Samsung phone, Gemini is not called 2.0 Flash. Apparently, it automatically updated from the. Yes, I noticed on my Samsung phone, Gemini is not called 2.0. Now, I just noticed with my update yesterday, the 2.0 on Gemini is Flash. So I'm not sure if you probably don't have the latest update, and maybe the new update coming next month will do that. I'm not sure. Now called 2.0 Flash. Yeah, and I have that on my phone.
Okay, we're caught up.
All right, good. Is this mine or what?
Yeah, this is yours, and you've already talked about that. Yep. And this is yours.
This is interesting. Google is adding an AI-powered feature to the Play Store that can answer your app-related questions. So if you ever wondered, something about apps, then just ask AI now. The feature adds a new section to the app listing with a text field for custom queries and several simple queries. It's currently available for a few users and only appears on select app settings, but it is going to be rolling out, so you will be able to ask it questions about, about the apps that you want. I think it's pretty cool.
More about the Pixel 9A?
Yeah, we covered all that. This is your flip ones coming up.
Yeah,
This
there it
is
is
the-
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this week you can get the Galaxy Z Flip 6 for as low as $399.99 from Samsung this week only. And then the article tells you how.
Which
And
carrier is that for?
it's from Samsung.
So, but is it restricted to certain carriers or all
No.
of them?
I don't know. They just say it's from Samsung, and it looks like you can turn in any phone working or not.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a it's you're buying it right from. I'm looking at the site now. It's slashing $700 off the Z Flip 6 when you trade in an old or broken phone. Plus, you'll get a free storage upgrade to 512 at no additional cost. So this is
a good deal. That
yeah,
normally
so
puts
you can put it on.
$100 to
Yeah,
upgrade
you just
to
drop a
storage.
SIM card in. Just drop a SIM card in, and you'll be able to get it. Use it. I think that's really an amazing, amazing price. The other thing is, don't throw your old cell phones out because if you even have an old beater, like anything, go to your neighbor, knock on his door, and say, "Do you have an old phone you want to get rid of?" Because it doesn't matter what phone you send them. Then
How many of us have a drawer? If you open it up, it's all of our old cell phones.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, Ray. So. Oh, I'm gonna get Bob this for Christmas. He's where is the article now? I can't see it because I can't see that article.
World's first.
Did you guys see this? This is a computer that uses live human cells to this is a what does it call it? World's first computer powered by human brain cells go on sale.
It's only 35,000.
But Bob, you're priceless, and I thought this is cool. This is using live human brain cells. So I thought,
is there a minimum number required?
Yeah, you're right. Anyway,
it sounded so amazing to me that I went ahead and asked. I think it was Copilot. I said, "Is this true?" And then I put "world's first computer powered by human brain cells goes on sale," and it said, "Yes, it's absolutely true." And went on and explained it and gave me some references.
Wow.
So
there you go.
Because it sounded like one of the, there's so many stories out there that if you do a search, a lot of times they'll say, no, this is just a humorous or whatever. It's not true. But
I gotta wait.
It is.
But I gotta wait till Christmas to buy this for you, Bob, because the brain cells die after 6 months, so it doesn't last very long. Mm-hmm. So just let you know. But I thought, we gotta put that on our list.
Okay, Ron, this is you.
Google Search New AI lets you ask complex. Google's new Search AI mode lets you ask complex multi-part questions. Okay, yep. We can move on.
Okay.
This was also this is the new Apple Studio, which again is a really, really great. This is a PC, like a PC, but it's the new Apple Studio. I'm not going to go into all the specs of it, but it is a great machine. Apple really has some good stuff. This is an excellent machine.
What's the price tag, Ron?
These are high end stuff for graphics design and stuff. You're probably $2,000 or $3,000 for it. I didn't actually.
I bet you they're more.
Yeah, but really good stuff. We talked about this. This is the March Pixel drop, which we did that. This is AMD's new. We always talked about NVIDIA, but these are AMD's new graphics cards that are coming out, and they're really good. In fact, I think I might even consider. I'm thinking about a new PC, and I'm even thinking about putting one of these in because the specs are so good and they're easily available. So these are pretty cool. So just let you know, AMD's making these as well.
You should be able to drop one of these in our machine, which is the XPS.
You could, yeah. You could also use it as well.
And you mentioned that.
Yeah, you mentioned that one.
And Lyft is bringing robo taxis to Dallas. And I would consider using something like Lyft with the robo taxi and not have a driver. I'd certainly do that before I would get into my neighbor. If my neighbor bought a car that had automatic driving or driverless driving, I would be afraid of it. But I think the taxis, they do an awful lot of testing, and I'd feel more comfortable with that. And I'm even thinking that I don't drive a lot, and could I save money by selling my car and using not Lyft, but one of the other ones, because Lyft, there's no
Uber.
Lyft in this area,
Uber.
but you using an Uber to go places I need to go and I'm doing the grocery shopping now with Walmart Plus delivered. So, do I really need to have a car? Because of the insurance is so high and the fact that I don't drive many miles at all, it might be worth it to me. And I really am going to sit down and try to figure that out.
Put AI to work.
Yep, absolutely. I love this picture, by the way. But bots now dominate the web, and that's a problem. Nearly half the traffic on the internet is generated and automated using AI and bots. So it's becoming a major part of our lives, whether you like it or not. And Opera is a browser that I know a few people that are on Tech for Senior use, and they've added agentic, which means an agent AI to its browser. And an agent is like a series of things to accomplish a certain deed. You want it to do something, and it has to do a couple of things to get to that. And Opera is actually adding it to its browser.
Just a reminder that Opera is no longer in Sweden. It's now owned by a Chinese consortium. Has been for some years.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Has been for quite a few years already.
Yeah, I think we're probably looking at.
Oh wow! Look at the time.
It is top of the hour, and we need to look at a couple of. Make sure we've looked at all the comments.
There's two here, and it's from Inquisa. It says hello, and then I don't know why I'm here. I'm 19. You're welcome to be here.
You're welcome to be here. We might be able to teach even a 19-year-old.
That could
I'm closer to 91 than the 19, but I guarantee you.
And someday you're going to be a senior.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
Welcome.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming. And we do review the tech news of the week. So if you're interested in tech news, that's what we do. So great. Well, listen, that was so much fun. I just have so much fun on Thursdays, and it goes by so fast. Thank you everyone for coming. We do appreciate the fact that you've been with us for an hour, and we know your time is important, and hopefully we've provided some tech news for the week, and we will be back next week to do it all over again. I want to thank Hewie for coming. Hewie, I really like your new background. I think that looks smashing. I think that looks great. Bob, thanks for being here. Thanks for telling me about the power button. That's such a cool feature. I love it. And Ray, snowing, eh? That's a bit weird.
No, it's stopped now. Now we're in the 40s, so it's gonna be all right. I don't have the shovel today.
We look forward to seeing you lots on the show. So just don't go away too far, right? All right. Okay, everyone. Thanks for coming. And Jeff Glassman says thanks for being here, and very informative. Thanks. Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, and don't forget Monday. We have a great show coming up for Monday.
And Sunday the Winsig.
Oh, and Sunday's the Winsig. Yep. So anyway, enjoy your week, and we'll talk soon. Bye now.
Bye.
So long.